Below is the today webinar agenda. There will be 4 seasons. Start with the market trend hosted by our sales manager Edwin. Then follow up our headquarters product manager Sabrina Lee. We'll offer the wildest paper displays introduction. Today, we also have demo sessions to let our product engineer, Homer, show us how to set up ePaper easily. In the last season will be the QA season. Now, let's welcome our sales manager, Edwin, for sharing what is the ePaper.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar on wireless ePaper display technologies. So I should be giving everyone a brief overview of ePaper technologies and what are their advantages and disadvantages. So let's start. First, what is ePaper? So ePaper is actually a short form. It means electronic paper in short. Actual fact, ePaper comes in many different names, such as electronic ink, or sometimes people call it e-ink, electrophoretic displays, or others. They are basically display devices that mimic the appearance of ordinary ink on paper. So ePaper, how it works is that this ePaper display, they contains millions of minuscule capsules filled with a clear fluid containing microscopic particles of different colors and electric charges. Each of these capsules are as wide as a human hair. Electrodes are placed above and below the capsule film. So when a positive or negative electric field is applied to an individual electrode, the color particles with the corresponding charge will move either to the top or bottom of the capsule, making the surface of the ePaper display appear a certain color. So for example, I can have white particles to carry positive charge and black particles to carry negative charge. So one of the key thing about ePaper is that they are what you consider as bistable, which means no power is needed to retain an image, and is also reflective. Ambient light reflects from the surface of the display. So many ePaper technology actually holds static text and images on the screen indefinitely without electricity. It stays on the screen. In fact, ePaper has started to replace some LCD display in certain applications. The key strength of ePaper over traditional LCD displays is paper-like readability and extremely low power consumption. Okay, so this is what usually attracts people to ePaper instead of the LCD display, because LCD display typically consume a lot of power. If you want it to be sunlight readable, you need higher brightness. So this is the usual constraint, but ePaper has these advantages against LCDs. Okay, now there are two main types of ePaper in the industry. Either we are looking at the industrial type of ePaper display or the consumer type of ePaper display. So both are actual fact have their own focus markets. So if you look at consumer ePaper, the cost of deploying such consumer ePaper are actually lower, but they have a few constraints. Industrial ePaper targets higher end market, whereby quality, durability are more important. When we look into the cost, we actually fact focus on TCO, what we call total cost of ownership, not just the first cost. First cost is your purchase cost. TCO, basically, you can equate it to TCO equal first purchase cost. That means the cost that you buy the item, plus your downtime cost. Downtime cost is basically if this system is down, how much you will lose. And also the maintenance cost. Maintenance cost can be also recurring cost. That means if you have to replace the unit, how much will this cost be? So if you look at TCO, TCO means total cost of ownership, means I have to add all these things together. Then that's my real actual cost of deploying an ePaper system. So it's not just the first cost, not just the purchase cost, because there are certain customers that we encounter that always focus on the first cost, but they forgot about the rest. So then end up they actually spend more. Okay, so let's delve into the key differences between the industrial and consumer ePaper. First, we look at battery. When in the industrial ePaper, our battery capacity is far larger. It's a few times bigger. So what does this mean? If you have a larger battery, means the durability and the frequency of changing the battery is actually far lesser. So in fact, you are saving maintenance costs. Okay, roaming, you can have more frequent updates and changes, whereas the consumer type, typically your changes aren't too frequent. Interface UI, the user interface. We have buttons at the side of the ePaper display and also color LED. So actually all these color LED can actually indicate different conditions or status. Whereas consumer display typically is just that display. There's no buttons to add or others. In also another very important factor is operating temperature. If you look at the industrial ePaper, can go up the way to 50 degrees Celsius. This is very useful if you're in a non-air conditioned environment, or maybe you're going to deploy outdoor, where the outdoor temperature can hit 30 something. So whereas a consumer one typically up to 30 degrees Celsius. Now, one thing I need to highlight, number one killer for electronics is always heat. So if assuming that you use a consumer one and you deploy it outdoor, where your outdoor temperature can hit 35, 36, be prepared this panel or this ePaper will be in a way won't last as long. So then you have to replace it. Then instead your maintenance cost becomes even higher because you need to replace it, faster replacement cycle. Okay, another area is communication. I can have two-way communication. Basically, if I'm using an industrial one, typically I can check the health status. It can give me alerts if assuming that something abnormal happened. Okay, and also colors. Colors for industrial ePaper, typically there are three. Instead of the typical black, white, or grayscale in between, then some of them will have red. Okay, so whereas a consumer one typically only black and white. So these are some of the key differences between industrial and consumer. And we focus on the industrial market space, not on the consumer market space. So if you look at this SWOT stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. So what we're doing in this slide is basically to give you a more comprehensive summary of what I have explained earlier regarding the advantages, the disadvantages of the ePaper technology. So in terms of strength, I would say the most common key plus when it comes to ePaper display is the power consumption. You can actually run on battery. So what it means by run on battery, when you deploy some of this ePaper display, if it runs on battery, means you don't really need to pull power cables to connect to that display. This actually lessens a lot of installation worries or concerns. You can mount the ePaper display to site, less worry about how the power cable shall be routed, or in some case, the power cable routing might be a bit unsightly. I want to conceal it. So you don't worry about whether you're going to conceal this power cable because you don't need it. You don't need power cable. It actually run on battery. Okay, so, and then another thing, moreover, when you show an image on the screen, it stays in that state. Okay. To fix it, it stays in that state. Power is only consumed when you want to refresh it, want to change the display. Then you use the power because, like I mentioned earlier, it's bistable. Okay, so just imagine it this way: you're going to stay the image over there for a while, so you can actually imagine the amount of energy or cost saving. It doesn't need to refresh all the time. So this is one of the key reasons why ePaper display have actually replaced LCD display for certain application. In short, more economical and practical. So other key benefits include reflective design in nature. There's no backlight needed. Okay, so it's basically reflective. So I don't need to worry about what sunlight readable screen or consume more power to make it even brighter. Wide reading angle at 180 degree, which means you can also see and read from all sides. Okay, and also such ePaper display are also usually thinner and lighter than LCD display. So mounting, not much of a concern. Okay. Now weakness. Some key weaknesses that ePaper have. First, they are not designed for fast refresh rate. In fact, the refresh rate is slower. So if you are running like signage advertisement, those moving advertisement or animation use, ePaper is not recommended. Okay, it's actually, I would say, a position in between static signage and moving signages. That's where ePaper is. So, and fewer colors supported, usually up to 3. Okay, and fonts are also limited. And if you keep the same image for a very long period, sometimes there might be ghosting effect. Now, in terms of opportunity, that is how we segmentize our ePaper display. So I'll elaborate this on the next slide. As for threats, as many of you are aware, currently the global component shortages are also heavily impacting delivery schedule. So for every new project, do factor in the longer delivery lead time. So currently, I would say now high demand, tight supply. This has impacted many in the IT industry, and ePaper displays are also not spared. Now, if you look at how ePaper is used, the global market share of ePaper and the application, about 50% are actually for e-readers. So the most popular, I believe, many of you have heard about Amazon Kindle series, or there are also other e-papers or e-readers that is out in the market, such as those from Barnes and Nobles. Another area where also a high popularity is actually electronic shelf labels. So you go to the supermarket, every one of us often go to the supermarket and you see such e-paper label there. Those are actually what you call the consumer type. So these also have a very, very large share. Now, what Advantech focus on are not those. We are not focusing on the e-readers. We're not focusing on electronic shelf labels. What we are trying to focus on, as you can see from the diagram, are the others, those that's more for industrial use. For example, I give a simple example for some of the application that is being used. One, outdoor bus stop. Okay, so we have solar-powered e-paper display to securely mount at the bus stop to show both, maybe say bus number, and the bus number don't usually change, right? Real-time passenger information display. So if you compare this than using LCD, if you use an LCD, when you deploy in the bus, it's an outdoor environment. Under the direct sunlight, you need to brighten the display even more. So that consumes even more power. And when you consume more power, more heat generated. So typically, such high power or high brightness LCD won't last as long in terms of durability. So, but then e-paper doesn't give you all these issues. It's self-reflective. So under sunlight, you can see. It don't consume power when it stay in the state. Unless you want to refresh the screen, then it consumes power. So in the way, it's very low power. So this is the most ideal when it comes to bus stop signages or even fuel station, where you can check what's the amount to pay for the fuel. Okay, because especially and normally this kind of amount to pay for the fuel, they don't change every day. They change a few days in a one. So e-paper is a very, very useful display, and it doesn't consume so much power. So in the sense, energy cost you also save. Bedside posts for hospitals. So if you look at every hospitals, you see what we call bedside post next to the bed. What is this bedside post about? Mainly is to show the patient detail, okay, name, age, or whatever details they have, and also some warning signs. So for example, this person can only consume liquid, now no solid food, or something to take note by the caregivers like nurses and all this kind of thing. So this information don't usually change much. You don't change it per hour. You change it like say every time maybe the patient will discharge from hospital, a new patient come in, then you just change it accordingly. So this is something where e-paper will be a very useful deployment instead of running every display which consume more power. Okay, next, meeting room. This is where you mount the e-paper display outside every meeting room. You can notify who booked the room, what's the duration you're going to book the room, or who is booking next after that. Okay, you can have we have APIs ready for that you can integrate with your Outlook Exchange or MS365 to any booking system that you have. So this is a very cost-effective solution. Logistic warehouse is another area. Similarly, logistic warehouse, you may want to integrate the e-paper to accurately reflect stock level, expiry date, or sometimes you may want to integrate with NFC or RFID. So this gives you a lot more flexibility. And normally logistic warehouse is a bit hotter. It's not like supermarket. So industrial e-paper is the way to go. Okay, so giving you a better idea of what we have in terms of the e-paper, we will have Sabrina to elaborate more on our e-paper display systems. Okay, Sabrina.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sabrina Lee, Advantech EPD manager. Let's start today's topic. In this 2 years, the global warming is the crisis which we met. That paper to save tree came to the force. 420 million tons paper were used in 2015, and we are losing approximately 15 billion trees per year from 3 trillion trees on Earth. So think about this. If we can use the device to replace the real paper, not only to saving tree, but also reduce carbon emission. So why not go for it? If we use ePaper to save 1,500 pieces of paper every month for 5 years, it means 1,620 kilogram carbon emission will be reduced. Isn't a big number to reduce? So this is saving tree and forest to protect our earth with our ePaper device. The goal to design ePaper is to provide the following feature. First of all, device management to monitor the EPD status. Secondly, provide service to deliver EPD content and the firmware upgrade as easy as possible to system integrator. Thirdly, provide the content design UI as window painter. User only drag and drag the component to design the EPD Outlook format. Moreover, having edge event feedback and multiple text capacity in each ePaper device. Last but not least, the cableless for easy deployment, so we can install EPD everywhere without any problem and obstacle. After completing above fantastic features, we need to consider to have our planet sustainable. So to obligate the green design, reusability and the sustainability are the target as well. The device on ePaper is built up for different sizes of ePaper in different scenarios. This platform provides user a friendly user interface to get started up and running ePaper. Smart factory and smart building are the solutions which we will talk about today. Our device on ePaper provide 4 major features for you to manage the device. We provide device management to report device status, battery status, and also user can remote control EPD. The most important feature is image generator. Since all information shows on device is image, so we offer template editor to drag and drop image component, and the user can set up data field on the template component for future automation image push. It makes everything extremely simple. The next is account management to help manage the system. The last one is service management to provide image auto deliver and the firmware upgrade from the air. This is the image generator screen, which we can provide drag and drop image component to design image. So customers don't need to worry coding issue to arrange the EPD Outlook. In fact, you can see Advantech is providing the complete and the full function solution for you to knock the door of I/O. This is the smart factory scenario. I will introduce EPD how to apply in warehouse, production, and the production line, which can help stock and production control efficiently. Let's see the video in Advantech ACL RMA warehouse. Please play the video. Okay, so this is Advantech ACL RMA, and we can provide multiple task capacity to provide different people to receive a task at the same EPD device. So you could see there are two people on the screen to get the material from the same storage bin. This is the flow we just see in the video. The operator apply online and follow the indicator to get the material. From system point of view, device on ePaper can communicate with ERP WNS to update the data in real time. In ACL RMA, EPD have managed 4,000 storage bins. EPD in standby mode, it shows stock status. You can see the stock status on screen. And when EPD device receives the task, it will show the task information and the indicator light up to guide the process. After operator complete the task, EPD minus the stack and back to standby mode. In summary, repairing engineer only apply online and get the repairing parts directly by themselves. So the smart warehouse could shorten repairing working period and the cost down due to material stock control. What's the benefit from improving the stock and the picking process in RMA? Based on 1,824 times of picking process monthly, we can save repairing process for 456 hours per month and the saving checking inventory process from 3 days to 4 hours. Finally, we can reduce the human resource from 3% to 1%. Please play the video. With the EPD, operator can easily locate and verify goods and components according to production instruction. In addition, this solution improves production management efficiently by shortening communication thread in factory. Either the EPD is staying or moving around in the factory. In fact, LED and the screen provide visualization to help improve control production process. In this page, you can see operator can read EPD screen to know the material name and the amount. In production line, operator can follow EPD instruction to control the flow and scan QR code to update WIP status. ERP system can transmit next instruction and receive the next working order information on EPD. After complete the station job, operator can follow the instruction to move the run car to next working station. Okay, that's all for what EPD do in the factory. What's the benefit from the helping production status update and the working order tracking? In M9 factory, we have 100 operators and 5 PM in general. We can help saving operators process time for 1,000 hours per month and the saving manager process time for 100 hours per month. But most of important is to fixing the 5% error rate due to the human error. Make sure the right order in right process and provide the correct working hour. This is the ATW Win Smart Meeting Room project with EPD. The customer's new building has around 30 meeting rooms running. Employee can easily know where and when is the booking meeting room. Key to win this project is we comply to Microsoft Outlook Exchange. Advantech Outlook agent can easily install an up and running the solution without any extra coding job. Here is the 3 steps to enable your meeting room, please. Yeah. So this is the second step, and this is the Outlook agent setting. So you can see it's very easy. We provide this sample code for free for you to set up your meeting room with the Outlook Exchange. And so you can see when you start working with your Outlook Exchange, you just make an appointment. Yeah, you see you see it, we start seeing the meeting room signage play. Our core value and the benefit is to have environmental friendly, and secondly, reduce deployment time and the easy installation with the cableless design. Finally, we make the massive data digitalized to reduce human error. The most important is our EPD have multiple pages and the button to receive multiple tasks at the same time. This is what you see in the RMA. Indeed, our EPD combine above features to move around factory field, which can have the real-time two-way communication to help you improve your process. Currently, we have NFC battery-less paper. For this product, Advantech provide you the app provide you the mobile app and the C# DLL for you to integrate into your factory system. And the next generation battery-less ePaper, Advantech use UHF and RFID to do the image harvesting, which will be in mass production next year. Thank you for your listening today. If you have more questions, welcome to contact our sales team or direct mail me, Sabrina Lee at advantech.com.tw. Thank you. Next one, let's welcome our FAE Homer to join us.
Okay, following out, please go to the next page and play the video.
首先呢，我们要先把我们公司的网路接到这台 Hub 上面。那这台 Hub 呢，会提供就是整个主要整个主网的功能。对，那接下来我们要先了解说，接到公司网路之后，ARC123取得 IP 是多少？从这里可以看得出来啊，ARC123取得的 IP 是 172.22.12.91。那接下来我们需要把这个 IP 设定在3240上面。在3240这边，我们预设的 IP 是使用 192.168.1.1， 那进来之后呢，会需要输入账号密码。那在这里呢，我们需要把刚刚 server 的 IP 输入进去。这边就是我们刚设定的 IP， 然后 save and find。那我们在3240呢就完成这边的设定。接下来我们要回到 device on ePaper。
好的，那接下来呢，我们就可以继续让我们的 EPD332直接加入我们的网域，来开始做会议室的部署的部分。大家在收到我们的装置的时候，其实可以从纸盒里拿出来以后，大家可以看到，这个后面也有我们装置的 MAC address 在背后的部分。那我们就拿这个 MAC address 呢，把它加入我们的装置管理里面。那我们的整套系统内就可以看得到我们的 EPD 直接上线。接下来我们请 Homer 帮我们做后面的部分吧。
ePaper Manager 可以透过网页来提供服务。那基本上你只要连得到 server， 那就可以从网页去登录到 ePaper Manager， 然后去对我们的 tag 去做管理。那在登录的时候呢，基本上目前所有设备都还没有加到 ePaper Manager。所以你看这边看到会是全空的。接下来我就要为大家介绍如何把我们的设备加入 ePaper Manager。首先点选 Device List。那在这里呢，由于刚刚我们已经在Y3240输入了 Server 的 IP， 所以当你点选之后呢，你就可以看到有 Router， 就是我们3240，还有基本上要提供控制 EPD 产品的一个 EPD Hub 这两个。那点选完之后呢，接下来我们需要把电子纸加入白名单里头。那目前这边也是全空的，那我要把我目前手上的电子纸的 MAC 输入。输入完之后呢，将它移到右侧，然后存档。存档完呢，接下来我要先把我的电子纸唤醒。这边有一个按钮，你去按它，接下来这边会亮灯，代表说它会进行一个刷图的动作。那你要确定等到左下角有一个断网的图案消失之后，那接下来呢，我们看回 ePaper Manager， 在这里去点选加，你就可以看到哦，这一颗 tag 已经上线，那把它加入。那接下来大家可以看到，现在所有设备呢都已经在 ePaper Manager 上面了。
哦，原来设定的部分这么简单。那如果说我是有订阅 Outlook 的部分，是要怎么设定呢？它会怎么做显示？
好的，没有问题。因为我们现在我们的研华的这整套的 solution， 我们 offer 了一些 agent。好，那这些 agent 是免费提供客户使用的，可以从我们的Outlook Exchange 2013、2016，还有 Office 365的部分呢，直接将资料拖拉下来，直接 push 到我们的 EPD 里面。那这一些 agent 的一些设置呢，只需要一些基本的设定就可以咯。好了，那就是经由刚才以上的短短几个步骤呢，就可以完成我们所有的会议室系统的嫁接。
这么简单轻易就可以部件的套件，如果有兴趣的各位伙伴，欢迎与我们的业务同仁联络。谢谢，拜拜。
This is one of the ePaper system network structure. When you deploy the ePaper solution in your company or factory, you need the other layer 2 switch building the subnetwork in the deploy area. Arc server or Arc 1123 or Arc 2250 and the router Y3240 or other device connect to the switch. You can see this structure in this slide. These devices are connected via LAN. The other tech device like our EPD230 and EPD332 are using the wireless protocol to receive image data. When the user wants to check all system status, he only needs to take his laptop and join the subnetwork. Open the web browser and log into the device on ePaper management system. You can see the signal strength and power in the dashboard. Device on ePaper provides RESTful API. It can help the customer easy to integrate the different systems